Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage. Welcome to episode 6 of City Skylines. Things are not going too badly. At the same time, they're not going too well as well. We're getting a lot of abandoned buildings. We're getting a lot of buildings burning down, which is proving to be very, very annoying over here. What I'm thinking of doing, we've also got full landfills as well. What I'm thinking about doing is specifically going into this area, into Dale Heights, which is our industrial area, going into policies and putting on the smoke detector distribution. That should hopefully reduce a lot of the fires that we're having. Also, we've got the option for heavy traffic ban. Ban heavy traffic on an area. Make sure there are optional routes because businesses in the city need to accept and send deliveries. So it would stop heavy transport vehicles, which would probably just screw the industry over. So we're not going to do an awful lot about that right now. We're still getting a lot of buildings burning down to the point where I think what we need to do is have another fire department. It doesn't necessarily need to be a fire station, but just a small local fire department here that can help to deal with some of the industry problems that we've got, because everything is burning down. Getting a call for residential again. Now, like I said, we do have the option to buy more land. We probably should do. Now, we can still build on the other side of the river, which isn't a bad idea. What I'm tempted to do is buy this tile down here. And in fact, I think we will. We're going to buy this tile. So, we now have a really long city that we can use. But we've got another potential water source down here. We have another highway, which isn't really being used for anything at the moment because it isn't connected to anything. And we do have a rail line. So that potentially gives us the option to connect things up via rail. If we look at the resources, we've got some fertile land down here as well. So that is not too bad. Outside connection needed. Yeah, we definitely need to sort that out. Would be nice if we could connect this highway up. In fact, it would be really nice if we could connect this highway into our industrial area to help alleviate some of the other traffic issues. I think what I might do with this highway is this highway might definitely end up becoming a main road that just goes straight over there. So I think what we will do to that end is we will go for a, let's get rid of that pop-up. We will go for a 6-lane road. Now, it's a shame you can't just connect it straight into a single 6-lane road. Not sure if it works this way. Let's give it a go. Possibly works that way. So we're just going to make this into a 6-lane road. It is going to be quite expensive. It is not going to be cheap. But that's fine. We'll build it across here. There we go. That's probably used all of our money. And this will then continue on and join up with the industrial area. And that's a lot of traffic that can come in. We have got some demand for commercial. So let's go ahead and drop in some commercial either side of this sort of main route in. I think that would be ideal. Should have power because it's right next to the power lines here anyway. Not sure if it has water. And actually it doesn't, so it was a good job for checking that. Let's just bring some pipes down. Doesn't need to go all the way along. There we go. So at least now we have another way in and out of the city. It's a little bit derpy because of the way that that's set up there, and there are people making U-turns, but because the highways count as 2 separate 3-lane roads, there isn't really an easy way to, well, not that I found, there isn't really an easy way to make the 2 3-lane roads into a 6-lane road, but it seems to work. That seems fine. And obviously, remember, we can build more junctions over here and use them to connect things up. One thing we do want to avoid doing is if we end up buying this square over here to the west, is the water over here is a little bit, yeah, it's not very nice, so we have to keep our eye on that. Garbage is definitely a problem, and again, we are losing, we're losing population because of it. So, what we're going to do, and I hate having to do this because this is like a nice area of town, we're going to build a little road out over here, just so that we can put a garbage dump. And the circle of influence is far away from the home, so they shouldn't be affected too much. I don't even think this place needs water. But it does mean that we'll have a fair few garbage trucks that can go out and deal with that. So we're actually losing population quite rapidly. Wow, we do have some major garbage issues. Look at that. Most of the industry has been completely abandoned, which is fantastic. I'm going to slow this down a little bit because it looks like I've got a lot of problems to sort out here. The first thing to sort out is we appear to have absolutely dozens of abandoned buildings. I'm not even necessarily sure if that last one that I just demolished was an abandoned building. And I'm not sure why they're all abandoned. I'm not sure whether they're abandoning them because they're not having their trash collected or whether they can't get any workers. But let's go ahead and get rid of all of these nasty buildings. Give the industry a bit of time to rebuild. We don't seem to be getting as many fires over here anymore. At least I haven't noticed as many. Well, that is one good thing. But yeah, we've got a lot of abandoned buildings here. Let's get rid of those ones. There are a couple that have burnt down, I notice. It's like more... I think they are. I think these are all just buildings that aren't having their trash collected. That are just abandoning their buildings. That's a little bit harsh. I mean, I appreciate that this one here is full. But until we can get the incinerator... And of course, we can't get the incinerator until we actually get enough people. And we can't get enough people because people are moving out. Because there's too much trash everywhere. Some of these houses are actually emptying out as well. Not as many of them, though. The problem doesn't seem quite as bad over here. I guess sometimes you don't realise just how many garbage trucks you need for, you know, for a few thousand people. But let's get rid of all the homes that are abandoned. Yeah, I think it's these houses with the red garbage on when there's literally... the garbage has piled up. The people that live there just become really, really unhappy and move out. And I think that's what the issue is. Let's go ahead and have a look and see if we can actually reduce the taxes and still keep the city viable. Let's go down to 7%. You might get some more people in, although, of course, getting more people into the city isn't going to help with the trash issue. Well, actually, that's not technically true, because if we can get up to 8,000 population, at least then we can get the incinerator. Got a feeling that needs to be tweaked a little bit so you can get that a little bit earlier, or maybe it's just me not playing well. I mean, that's certainly a possibility. Let's have a look over here. Should be using the cursor keys instead of the mouse. I think, was that the original one that had the garbage piled up? Quite possibly. Guess we could just, like, demolish everybody's house and start again, but... I've already got sort of 4 landfills now, and I appreciate that one of them is completely full, but... They're all running sort of 19 garbage trucks. I don't really see that we need any more at the moment. City's been ruined by those ugly oil pumps. Maybe we can do something to prettify things up there. I'm just going to leave this problem. I know it's not going to go away. Yeah, these guys have... See, why are these guys all suffering from trash problems when there is a land... Wow, you're full already. Yeah, okay, so the garbage really is becoming a problem. Maybe we just have to build a few of these and put them all next to each other. I mean, it's going to be expensive, but, I mean, wow. We're creating so much trash. Now, what we should go and do is then take some trees or something and put these trees... I think they're all just going to die off because of all of the pollution and the oil, but if we fill some of this area up with trees, it does help to reduce the pollution. Not massively. At least the trees randomise every time you click, so you don't just get the same tree repeated over and over again, which is quite nice. Let's put some things in there. Yeah, I'm working on the garbage truck problem. I'm sort of... I've just built another 3 or 4 more... let's get rid of all of these. I'm sure it is literally just because the garbage trucks aren't arriving on time. We are still making money. Yep, all of these are running. One of them's got no more room. We appreciate that. This one still has... Emptying finished. Stop emptying. Alright, you're just tipping stuff off to somewhere else. So you can stop emptying and start collecting. You... Yeah, you can only empty into another facility. So we can't do a lot with you until we can actually get ourselves a incinerator. I guess we could probably go ahead and this is not the best solution to it. However, it's a good temporary solution while we can afford it. If we can stop people moving out... that's not what I wanted to do. If we can stop people moving out to the point where we get enough population to build incinerators, it's going to make this a lot easier. Although, I've got a feeling the bigger issue is actually being able to get vehicles to the properties. Yeah, we're still getting a lot of abandoned industry here. Oh, just deleted a tree. It's like the place is smoggy enough as it is without deleting the trees, but there we go. Wow, so many abandoned buildings. I'm terrible at this. I know I shouldn't be making excuses, but I am going to precursor it again by saying this is the first time that I have played this game. I haven't had any sort of pre-practice before recording these videos, so I'm literally just making it up as I go along. But I have to say, I'm really enjoying it. And it does feel like it's one of those games that you can just get into. You don't necessarily need to... You don't necessarily need to read the manual, but I do think in some situations it could help. Now, power. Got some flashing power there. Yeah, our power has dropped a little bit. We don't need to build another power plant. We do just have our power reduced. We could probably go up to something like 95%, and that would be fine. That's probably going to sort the issue out over here with the power. Yep, that's fine. Brilliant. Power to the people. It's another issue sorted. However, it's not sorting out the issue of the garbage. There's a lot of it up here that we seem to be having problems with. I guess we could go ahead and build ourselves a nice little road out here. We could connect that straight up to the highway. It's not a very straight road, I admit, but it's a road nonetheless. I'm not going to zone on that. In fact, that should be a one-way... No, because cars can turn around, I suppose. But we could have made that a one-way street. What I'm going to do there, though, is put another landfill up there, because I'm just putting them everywhere. I'm not going to bother building anything up here. Maybe a little bit of commercial on this side. Maybe is all it needs. It's probably not getting any water, as expected. There we go. Hopefully that will help alleviate some of the problems again. And it needs to be two-way because obviously traffic needs to be able to get to and from the landfill site. So I'm glad that I didn't make it into a one-way system there. I'm really surprised that if these houses are emptying because of the garbage, I'm really surprised because when you consider the amount of landfills that we've got locally, that is actually quite amazing. They should be getting round to them now, though. The problem should start to alleviate itself. And in fact, as I look around, I'm seeing less and less properties that have that icon on them. And we're still getting a little bit of empty industry here. Now, what's the main reason for that? Let's go ahead and find out. You don't have enough workers. You only have one uneducated worker. Is it because people are generally too educated to work in the industry? Surely that's not the problem. We do still have a massive call for more residential. So that's certainly an issue to be considered. And so much so, I think we're actually going to have a two-lane road that comes off this main junction here. This is a straight-ish road. Let's go up to there. And then we'll build some little side streets coming off it. Get ourselves some housing. So this is going to be on the other side of the river, just to make it a little bit different. That doesn't want to... Oh, I was going to say that doesn't want to snap up straight. Yes, I appreciate I'm doing the grid thing. But, you've got to do the grid thing somewhere, haven't you? So let's go ahead and do that. It's going to cause a lot of intersections on this road, but it is a big road, so it does have a lot of traffic capacity. So there's a lot of nice space there. Let's go ahead and take the zoning tool, and I'm just going to zone all of the inside of that. Probably do that as well, with a little strip of commercial running along the back edge. And we are going to need a few things over here. So we'll make sure that we've got a little medical clinic somewhere. We'll make sure that we have a fire station. And we'll make sure that we have a school. And yes, I probably should have another landfill site nearby, but we're not going to worry about that just yet. We are going to have to make sure they're connected to the electricity grid, though. But we can just go across the water for that and connect up to here. That will eventually sort itself out. Water definitely needs to be done manually, though. So let's just come across here. We'll have one big pipe running down the middle. We can actually run from the sides here as well. Make sure everywhere's watered up. Mostly, near enough, more or less. And of course we've got these houses down here that don't have water. So let's just go in that direction a little. And let's come down in that direction a little. So they don't have power, but they will get power as it starts to spread out. That's good. And we can go ahead and we can zone this area as well. Not too sure what this district's going to be called. It's Hickory Hills. I mean, we can rename those if we want to as well. We still do have a little bit more call for commercial. So I guess we could go ahead and put that in around here. So hopefully this will be a nice little area. Still getting a few abandoned buildings. I'm just trying to get people to move in. Get to a point where we're nice and big and we can get some of the better facilities. And hopefully as well, by having more population, we will have more workers for the industry, and then we won't have as many of the industrial buildings shutting down. Although, having the industry buildings shutting down does alleviate a lot of the traffic over here. And who knows, maybe it's possible to run a city without having any industry at all. We've still got quite a bit of problems here with the roads. But it's not come to a complete standstill. Maybe this road needs to be a little bit bigger. Well, I don't think it's the fact that this road can't handle it. I think it's the fact that they're all having to wait for the main road here. Could we fit, possibly, a one-way street from here that runs down to there? Yes, we can. But you're still not willing to turn left and get off the main road, which is quite strange. I mean, I admit that I'm essentially creating more unnecessary intersections, but there's no traffic lights there. And in fact, we can now actually see that the traffic is going this way round instead of waiting for all the traffic coming off here, because we're getting quite a backup on the slip lanes. Would you look at that? It's actually getting quite busy. And most of it is garbage trucks. I think 90% of the traffic on our city's roads are actually the garbage trucks trying to alleviate the problem of there being garbage everywhere. Although, that mainly seems to be solved now. Getting close to that 8,000 population, that's going to be a really good landmark. We are coming up towards the end of the video as well, so I wonder how much money we're actually making from the oil. Can we actually find that out if we go into, like, the taxes? Does it tell us? Industrial zone. Well, we're making a fair bit of money from industry. There we go. Oil. We're making 3,000, almost 4,000 credits per week. Yeah. Can we click on that for a detailed breakdown? No. But we're making an awful lot of money from the oil, so it's definitely worth doing that. Our residential's doing quite well also. Our biggest expenses, by far, is health and fire care. That's quite expensive. In fact, actually, the fire care is the biggest of them all. We don't have any public transport down in our new little area, which certainly seems to be prospering now. It's definitely growing. What are we doing population-wise? We're still making 100 people a week, so I think we're going to hit that little landmark. We're still making some money. Got some demand for commercial. Still plenty of space that we can use. I mean, also remember as well, we've only so far brought 3 blocks out of the total 9 that we can have, and we can pretty much go off in any direction. So we've got a good amount of space to expand. We haven't done anything yet with the 3rd block this side of the highway. So definitely got some interesting stuff we can do. And then once we've got some incinerators, we can probably start getting rid of some of these landfills when we've got better options. Public transport wise, we've still only got the bus available to us there. We have, I was going to say we haven't unlocked any of the unique buildings, but in fact we have. We have the Mall of Moderation. Mall is not so posh, but it has a lot of shops, cheap shops. Requirement is building the medical centre. And we also have the option to build the Opera House. People near and far come to enjoy the wonderful music played and songs sung at the Opera House. Costs a lot of money to build. And how big is it? I'm almost tempted. I'm not sure whether it's a happiness thing. It does cause some noise pollution. So I don't fully understand the purpose of these yet. So I'm not going to build it just yet. I might actually go and look that up before I do. Not sure if it actually serves any sort of purpose other than decoration. But if it causes noise pollution, obviously we don't want to have that too close to the residential areas. We've got another building there that's burnt down. I can see a few abandoned buildings. I think it's natural to get some. I think that's always going to happen. And how are we doing with these landfill sites now? So you're full, which is expected. These ones are hardly full at all, and they're not even having to use all of their garbage trucks. So I think we've solved most of the problem now. We do, of course, want to get some incinerators as soon as possible. We are still making population. Let's just carry on. We're going to go up to the faster game speed as well, because I did turn it down and forgot to turn it back up again. We are actually, well, we're not losing population, but the gain has dropped significantly over the last couple of days. No, it seems like it's hovering. It's definitely, it's going up, it's going down, it's sort of plateauing out, but we can do that just fine. And there we go, we've done it, another achievement, which is a great place to end the video. So, we've now managed to unlock the ability to buy yet another piece of land. More taxation policies, we've got some new buildings. We can build metros now as well, so we can actually have a better way of moving people around the city and decreasing traffic. Lots of new policies that we can choose from, and we should probably take a look at these policies in the next video and see if we can implement some of them, because some of them might actually help solve some of the problems in our city. We've also got the ability now to build high-density residential commercial zones and office zones, which would be really nice. And we can also build the university and the incineration plant, and it's the incineration plant that I'm most excited about, and I'm going to build one of those now. We can go in, we can build these incineration plants. Causes quite a bit of pollution, but it will allow us to go ahead and burn off a lot of the rubbish, and they're quite small. They take up a stupidly small amount of space compared to that of the landfill. So let's go and put one of those in. We'll leave it working and see how long it takes for it to start burning stuff down. And I'm not sure whether or not it will actually collect stuff from the landfills themselves. Maybe we have to. Maybe we can transfer the landfill into the incineration facility. Because if we tell it to do that, it doesn't actually tell us where it is being sent to. So we're going to stop that for a while. But certainly having the incineration plant is going to help immensely. And hopefully we can continue to build our city and expand into the neighbouring zones as we get rid of some more of these buildings that are abandoned. Obviously they didn't like the fact that we're burning all of their trash right next to them, but if they didn't make so much rubbish and turn the ground purple, then we wouldn't have to worry. But anyway, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Hope you are still enjoying City Skylines as much as I am, and I'll see you in the next video. So until then, goodbye for now.